Sarah Colonna.
Hi.
And thank you for joining us. I'm
thank you.
thrilled that you're here. And Troy Renck. And
Nice to meet
Troy,
you.
there's one thing about you that Troy doesn't know, and she's best-selling. She's everything in the world. She's on Chelsea lately. She's going to be doing a TV show based on her book. Which one is it going to be based on?
Oh, I sold a show to NBC and Adam Sandler's company on my first book, which was Life as I Blow It. It didn't end up getting on the air. You know, it had the hit and misses.
Yeah.
And then
and the latest bestseller is Has Anyone Seen My Pants?
Yep, that's the one. We're taking that out now.
That's the one that, I mean, it's about, forgive me, we won't say your age, but it's about your dating travails during your 30s, I think, and the debauchery and the, what other words could I use? The, dating.
A lot of dating and
drinking. Could we go through about
you go through when you're single, you know, and friends and family and just mishaps all around, basically.
Yeah, and she's been on thousands of TV shows and her specials and movies and everything else in the world, but we got to get to the two most important things.
Okay.
One, Troy, her father was a sports editor at the Orange County Register.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I actually knew him. Because he was in Dallas, too.
Yeah, he was in the Morning News before that, He was
and my good
there.
friends worked for the Dallas Morning News, and then he was sports editor, and he's now living the fine life out in Palm Springs.
Hangs out in Palm Springs. Nobody knows exactly what he does. He has some sort of job, but we're not quite sure what.
And as a result of that, she is the biggest Angels fan in the world, and so she was loving what the Rockies were doing against the Angels, which was nothing.
Don't hit it to Mike Trout. That's pretty much the strategy.
You know, that was,
Did you see that the other night?
Yeah,
the two plays he made?
He's fantastic. Mike Trout's it.
Yeah,
you know.
So she grew up as an incredible. She would sit in the press box with her father until she was able to talk to her father. And the reason why I say this, I'm 68. My daughter's is 38. So it's almost the same thing. My daughter had zero interest in sports, and to this day has never seen me on ESPN, never seen me on this show, never read a column I've written, never wanted to go to games,
just
never
no
wanted
interest.
To do anything. So
great memories here.
Are you asking me to be your daughter? Is that what's happening?
Where's this going?
Okay,
so and we'll come back to that in a minute. But if you were my daughter, I would love the rock on your finger, and I would love who you're marrying. And so tell Troy who you're engaged to.
I'm engaged to John Ryan. He's the punter for the Seahawks.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
He was the best punter I saw last year.
Yeah.
He's a Canadian guy, right?
Yeah.
I thought they needed to put the footballs in the humidor in Seattle after watching him punt.
Yeah.
He was getting like an extra 10 yards. I do these stars at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He was one of the stars of that game.
Oh,
no, seriously. When they beat the Broncos, he changed field position the entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Broncos had bigger issues that game, but he was amazing.
Yeah, he really is. He's great at it. It's interesting because I grew up such a big Angels fan and baseball fan because it was always baseball season when I was visiting my dad. So football wasn't primary. You know, it's fine if it's on, but I wasn't like a huge. So I don't know a ton about punting. So it took. Now I know everything about punting.
How did that come about though? That you would. Oh, and I should forgive me because Mel will kill me. So you're appearing at the Comedy Works.
Comedy Works, yes, at the Comedy Works.
Yeah, why is she here?
Landmark.
To talk about a relationship.
I'll be there tonight and tomorrow. 4 shows. Yeah, let's get that in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's supposed to be because my partner Les is always hit. Yeah, enough about you. So I'll be appearing at the barbershop tomorrow. There you go. Which one are you appearing at?
At the Landmark at Greenwood Village.
Oh,
so
good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you out there. I'm close by out there.
Oh, good. Come out.
I want to come see you because I was in New York with ESPN and you were doing Chelsea lately, and it wasn't very far away from my studio, which was right about it's like about me again, isn't it? No, but that's really where you got. Is that fair to say you got really?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
You were here, and then that really took off because that show was so good and so creative and
it was great for comics.
funny.
You know, we had a lot of us had been. You know, you kick around for many years, and you get some work, and you do some commercials, or you work on hidden camera shows, and you do silly things. But that show was the first time we all got to like sit and do our own jokes and 3 comics a night, and then I became a writer on the show, so it definitely did a lot for sure.
And the View was kind of like it was women talking, but this was like women talking.
And we even let guys on that show.
Guys, This segment is brought to you by Citywide Banks, a family-owned Colorado-focused business bank with 12 locations across Denver and Boulder, over 25 services that business need, and the bank really is a passionate supporter, believe this or not, 150 Colorado charities every year. And that's why we do business with them for 2 reasons. One, they really are involved in the community. And B, I have a checking account in there that has about $8 in it, so that's
You
why.
got that going for you.
Bragger.
And Sarah will be at the. Let me catch up here. She'll be at the Comedy Works at Landmark, 2 shows every night. And
Tonight,
you're not
tomorrow.
doing Sunday shows, I hope.
No,
because
just tonight
guys
and
come
tomorrow
in
night,
and
Friday.
they'll go, "I'm doing a Sunday show." No, you should be able to take off
Guys,
on Sundays.
yeah, gotta get out of here.
Don't miss the book. The book is the new book. I got to go back and read the first book because the title kind of scared me a little bit.
I just like silly titles.
You know, if
with
you
a
have
lot of
somebody,
meaning.
you have a woman in your life, and you're bringing home a book that has that title in it,
Yeah.
so maybe people are
But it's
wondering.
okay. It's about like messing up, blowing opportunities.
Yeah,
Sort of, is
well,
sort of
that-
the,
yeah.
that's
But
the,
I think everybody.
that's
this
the
is-
double meaning.
This is an adult show. People will realize what we're talking about. But going back, I'm really curious though, because you are such a baseball fan, growing up in a sports background,
Mm-hmm.
but a punter from Seattle, and you're an LA kind of
Yeah.
person.
He approached another comedian that we both know. He's a comedian that's a big Seahawks fan, and he asked him to introduce us. So he saw me and thought he wanted to meet me. I don't know. It could, that story could go either way. It could end up with my head cut off or engaged, and luckily it went a positive way. So yeah, it was. I didn't think much of it at first. I thought it was just like he was just flirting, and then I met him, and he's a great guy. He's Canadian,
and you can tell him. Yeah, that's why I said what he's Canadian. But here's another part you want to know. I think you were born in Germany, if I remember.
I was, yeah. I was born in Germany, but
so they're going to have a kid that attacks itself. Because we know Canadians can't fight.
No. They're so nice, Canadians. That's why I'm with one.
Was that briefly? Was your father in?
He was in the military and Air
okay.
Force, yeah. So, and he worked at the Stars and Stripes when we were
Well,
there,
that makes sense.
yeah. And so I don't remember Germany very much at all. I think I was 2 when we left, so I don't really remember anything about
there's
it.
not much to remember except there's a
No.
wall over there.
So when you do topical stuff now, and obviously your fiance is in the NFL, do the deflated balls become part of your routine?
You know, it's funny. I have my opinions on that for sure, but I try to. I definitely make jokes more on Twitter about it. I don't really talk about it in stand-up or anything, but I would at the beginning, and then I was like, oh God, everybody's
Find
making
out what she
Deflategate
wrote on
jokes.
Twitter about Deflategate. We'll put it up on the screen.
I think I don't even think I made a joke the other day, but the other day I just said, I think Tom Brady's going to be fine, but the 2 guys who got fired may not be, for deflating the balls.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the idea they said that he calls himself the deflator because that in itself, because he's losing weight, that's just pure comedy gold.
Right, yeah.
Who would ever say that? It was the biggest deflator. That's the show that's been on NBC all these years.
Yeah,
they
I
all
think
look to deflate. How could
The
you write that with
Deflator
the
sounds
script?
like a great,
You're a
a
big
lifetime
sports
movie.
fan, right? We have a subject, and this is very short, called 4 on the Floor. And Josh, can we do that right now? There'll be 4 subjects. We each get 20 seconds. When the bell rings, you have to shut up. It's kind of like a game show. You see them on the TV behind us, 4 on the Floor. They're sports topics. I don't even know what there was. DeMarcus Ware was number 87 on NFL Network's Top 100. Is that fair? We'll start with you.
Fair. I didn't think he would make the top 100 this year. He had 1 sack in his last 7 games. So fair. It's a reputation issue. He'll be hard pressed to make that list next year.
I don't think he is. And the question I would ask instead of that, if you don't answer that one, is would you put Josh Hamilton in the top 100 of baseball players?
Oh boy, I have a lot of opinions about Josh Hamilton too. Can I put his attitude somewhere else? If I can put his playing in the top list and put his attitude on no list.
That was the Angels. That was a car wreck from the beginning.
Yeah, it was an ugly thing. I think he's an addict. He has problems. Obviously, that's the most important thing is that he gets better. I think that they both handled it poorly, for sure.
Yeah, but they're getting better as a result of that. Let's go to number 2. See, we go off the tracks here. Should Tom Thibodeau?
Thibodeau? You want to say Tebow.
I'm trying
you
to get
can't
Tim
help
Tebow
yourself.
into every show. That's all.
Thibodeau.
Should he be out in Chicago? Yeah, it's time. People stay together too long. Look at my life.
Oh, there we go.
That's mine. So, that's my 20 seconds.
He's a defensive-minded coach. They're great under him, but it's not working. He doesn't get along with management. And the bigger issue is, can they go forward with Derrick Rose as the star or Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler looks like Chicago. He represents Chicago. Tough grinder. Derrick Rose is not Chicago for me.
Right.
He doesn't
And
represent
the question
Chicago.
I would ask you, Mike Trout, we had this the other day.
Yeah.
Mike Trout is the best baseball player since who?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I mean, since
It's okay, you're an Angels fan.
No,
Give it
I know.
Best Angels since, because you loved a lot of Angels.
I mean,
when
I
you
love
were
Nolan
growing up.
Richardson. I mean, there's a lot of people that you love, you know. So,
Would you say he goes down as the greatest of all time?
of all time, Trout? I think he will. I think he will. I definitely. I mean, I just think there's something really special about him, and when you see him play, and when you see how he plays, and when you see, I feel like there's going to be something that goes on for a long time. I don't think it's a couple of years.
See, that's a better question.
Best player I've seen since Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson?
He could end up. He's He's built like
Mickey
Mickey Mantle, and he's got a neck like Brian Urlacher.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy that size run that fast.
Well, it's just interesting when it's always hard for me to say like since someone, because I feel like there's so many like different aspects of players, and with Mike Trout, then you see that his attitude as well, and his he's such a team player, and there's so many other things that go into him as far as, so I don't know.
Yeah. But the Mickey Mantle comparison, Mickey Mantle with good knees. Here's our last one, coffee. Iced or hot? Do you like
I'm not
hot?
a coffee guy. I'm a Diet Mountain Dew, which I don't have. Diet Dr. Pepper. I wean myself off sugar-free Red Bull,
Well,
so that's an accomplishment.
This
I've
is
got
really
that
good.
going for
This is
me.
really a good question since I don't drink coffee either. I drink Diet Coke.
Well, I liked iced coffee quite a bit.
well,
Okay,
good. We
I
finally
enjoy
got
it.
somebody on the
Yes,
show
yes.
that-
I mean, someone has to pull the show together. Jesus, these guys.
You were
Yeah,
terrible.
someone has
We suck, and it's just we raised all boats with Sarah
Just put it in as a direct IV right here. Just IV Red Bull right into my bloodstream.
Yeah, how legitimate? Hey, we're going to go back. Oh no, let's talk about enough of talking about the shit with the Angels. Honestly, where do you take? What's the next step for you in your career? You were in reading the book and studying your history. You were a bartender at.
Yeah, I
There's
worked for many years as a
There's a place in
bartender.
Colorado that's got the same name up near Vail. It's called Mirabelle.
Oh, Mirabelle, yeah. I worked in Mirabelle for a long time in LA, and then a place called Formosa. Lots of bartending. It's nice not to be doing that anymore. I haven't had to do that for a good handful of years, which is good.
Best-selling books, TV, movies. You've been in 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah, we're working on an idea for the newest book that has anyone seen my pants to develop into a show, probably for cable.
That is a great book title.
Yeah, and that's what I'm working on now. That's the next step, basically.
Could you have imagined this? I mean, how it all happened? Because you could have been a sports writer.
Yeah, I know, right?
You could have looked like us.
Apparently, I shouldn't have been. I can't answer any
You've
questions
seen the dark
anyway.
side, the other
Yeah.
side.
I'm better in the stands cheering on. I think I always imagined it, but it takes a long time. So I'm just glad I never gave up. That's for sure.
She's at the Comedy Works. In case I haven't mentioned it, Comedy Works at Landmark. There are probably no tickets available. I'm sure you're
I'm
sold
sure there
out
are
anytime.
some. There's
Yeah.
at least a couple. Yeah.
There are some.
Yeah.
Oh, well, jump in on them. You have to get behind me. But this segment sponsored by, that segment went past. This segment sponsored by John Elway Cadillac. You may have heard of him. Of Park Meadows, Colorado's #1 Cadillac dealer.
When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You probably want a lot of cars to choose from. And you want the dealership's best price. Not some starting price or target price, the best price. And you want it immediately, not after hours of negotiating. And you want a salesperson who doesn't get paid more if you spend more. Because, well, you don't want to spend more. Well, you're in luck. John Elway wants all of those things too. Better yet, John Elway wants you to have all of those things too. Come see us or click on elwaydealers.com.
We're back with you, and this is the Davidson's Pick 6. Sarah, would you like a beer? It's Friday afternoon. It's happy hour.
Okay.
Would somebody help?
Peer pressure.
Where's the opener?
Oh, here we go. All right.
Oh, that's good.
I'll take a. What do I got here?
So the great thing about Pick 6 is you can build your own Pick 6 by going out there and you pick 6. Do you want a beer?
No, I'm good. I got to drive home.
Oh,
I have a driver.
One beer.
Yeah, see?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I
I didn't
didn't
even
open
open
mine
yours. Right here.
You're a
Would you
terrible
open it?
father, Woody.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think he established
Yeah.
that. No
I'll
one
give you
said
a number to call. Yeah. I'll have to have her watch the show and she'll agree with you completely. Aaron Rodgers won on Celebrity Jeopardy the other night. I don't know if you heard about
Yeah,
that.
I
He
know.
blew out a
He killed
guy
it.
from Shark Tank and a couple other celebrities and answered practically every question, won $50,000 for a charity. He told someone what his bucket list was, and one of his bucket lists was to be on Jeopardy. His other bucket list he's got 5 or 6 of them. Aaron's picked 5. 6 things that tops your bucket list. So that's what we're going to get to. For the
Okay.
6 things you'd like to do. He wants to play golf in Scotland and Ireland. He's a golfer.
That's fancier than anything I want to do.
Travel
Yeah.
to. Oh, that's a 2-minute warning. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Bring on the punter.
4th down. Bring in John.
Just throw that thing.
It's like an episode of Mission Impossible from the 70s.
Yeah, would you turn that off? That's a union job. Travel to Egypt. Okay, that's Aaron wants to travel to Egypt. Number 3, he wants to win a golf tournament. Well, yeah, don't we all? They play golf. Number 2, play football in London. He wants to play in Wembley Stadium. They have not. Isn't that interesting? And you follow football like we do. That the Packers have never been invited to play in Wembley Stadium. When
Most
you
good
think
teams
That's
about
aren't.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's usually Jacksonville plays like 6 games there now a year.
And he wants to host Saturday Night Live, be like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
He could do that.
I think he'd be good at that, right?
Yeah, I do too.
I think he would be, yeah.
Okay, and so now we're going to go to our pick 6. You think about it. If you can give us 2 or 3
Okay.
or 6. Troy's going to go first with your bucket list.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never thought. It's funny. I've never thought of it. But when you guys proposed it, travel to Europe. I've never been to Europe. I've covered baseball in every place in the world. My dad was a professional racer, and I've been to I think 42 states. I've never been to Europe. It's crazy.
Have you
I need to go to
worked
Europe.
I never worked there, no, but I've been, and I would like I want to spend. I've been to Italy once, but I want to spend more time there. Like that's my the place I want to spend.
Florence.
Probably.
Go to Florence.
Yeah, Florence. Yeah.
And look at.
What's the place George Clooney always yachts around?
He's
That's where I want to go.
George Clooney. The place I want to go with the guy that drove him to that place. I want to go to the place that guy goes to because I can't afford it.
Capri. That's where he's always yachting. And it looks wonderful. That's where I want to go.
Appear in Fletch 3. Fletch was my favorite movie outside of Clerks.
Okay.
Clerks is my favorite movie of all time.
That's a great movie.
I love
You got a
good
better
movie.
chance of Clerks 3 than you do of Fletch 3. Chevy Chase
Fletch.
ain't coming back.
That's why I could take over. See, Fletch was fantastic. Fletch Lives was awful.
Right.
I still remember the Billie Jean King line in there with the plumber guy was named Billie Jean King, Gene, and I was like, that's why this whole show didn't work. Most of the lines were funny in print, but not in silver screen. But you could
Probably
bring
the
it back.
best. He played a sports writer, an investigative
I
reporter.
loved the original
Yeah.
Fletch. Does this entitle me as dressing up as Little Bo Peep? I love Fletch.
That's another fantasy we don't need to know about.
Exactly. Attend the Kentucky Derby. I was going to ask our guest about it. I've never been to the Kentucky Derby. I know you've covered it a million times. It just looks like a fun event to just not welcome or lose your mind, but go there and maybe drink a few beers and
You're not
He
gonna,
did look like he really
count
enjoyed
some
it, though.
paper.
You're not going to do roofers?
I don't know what he did, but I wouldn't be to that extent. He went
They're
crazy.
roofies, by
Yeah.
the way. I got that with
He
that.
did.
Did he roofie himself?
We're not sure.
That doesn't sound like
It
a
was
very
kind of
smart plan.
And he got suspended,
He got
for
suspended
4 games.
Oh,
or
so.
whoops.
something, and missed the Seattle game. as a matter of fact.
I want to see this.
Skydive. No, I have bungee jumped twice, and I loved it.
But the difference between bungee jumping and skydiving is you hit the ground in skydiving,
Yeah,
right?
bungee jumping. The first time
I
I
wanna
did
see
it
you
in
hit the
college, I was on an adrenaline high for 24 hours. Like I couldn't.
Yeah.
It would be like now if you drink like 8 Red Bulls. I couldn't calm down. Second time it wasn't the same. But skydiving just seems so cool. I want to do it before I die.
I think I've never wanted to ever skydive.
No.
Like, and when anytime someone says that, I'm like, you sound that's insane. That sounds
I-
like a terrible idea. If you want to do it before you die, do it because you might die when you're doing
I
it.
usually want to do it when Methode is loading to try to send our stories in without a parachute, just to jump out. That would be a better alternative than watching Methode
That's
load.
totally inside.
It's an inside. Our operating system is.
Okay, you want to what?
My dad was a top fuel drag racer, and he's addicted to speed. He still races at Bonneville. Last year, I think he's almost 80. He went 252 miles per hour
You're
last year
kidding.
at Bonneville. He loves racing. He builds his own cars. I just always wanted to one time feel like it, because his last top fuel run, he had all the records at Bandamere at one time. It was like 5 seconds, let's say 5.7 seconds at 258 miles per hour. I just like
Is
to
that
feel
something
that.
you'd like to do?
I'd like to
No,
feel
sounds
that
scary.
one time,
that's
just to
scary.
see that speed and why it was so cool to him. The
Well,
basic the appeal of speed.
Yeah, well, my father was in the clothing business. I don't want to do that. So.
And my sons, they play 1 million baseball games. They typically play about 150 games a year each.
That's a 1-minute warning.
And I would love to see them. I would love to sit with my wife in the
I'll
stands.
get to you in a minute.
The horn. I would love to sit in the stands and watch with my wife and watch my sons play college baseball. Not for me, just because that's been my favorite memories of the last 10, 12 years, are watching my sons play baseball
Yeah, that's
as a
awesome.
family. So I would be really cool to enjoy that selfishly for 4 more years after they're out of high school.
So here's my list. I'd
Okay.
like for you to comment more than me
Okay.
on this. See the pyramids along the Nile.
I like that you said when it's safe, because I was going to say, everyone wants to go to Egypt. It's not safe there.
There was a great song, and neither one of you are old enough, but there was a song out of the 60s by a Detroit group, See the Pyramids Along the Nile. And I thought, and it talks about
Sounds
love,
nice.
being in love stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go over there someday, but I don't think I'm going to die first, because it's never going to be safe. Live in Ireland, Australia, and Hawaii full time. I want to divide my time among Ireland, Australia, and Hawaii. I don't know whether you ever
Splitting
worked
it up into thirds.
Australia is the greatest people in the world.
I've
Irish
performed in
people.
Australia, and I had the greatest time. I was a little nervous, anytime you go to another country. I mean, there's not a language barrier or anything, but there is an accent, and you just never know. But they have the greatest, very dry senses of humor. But I had so much fun, and it was truly one of my favorite shows that I've
And
ever
you would
performed.
know, I have a good friend named Lewis Black, and
Yeah.
he traveled down there, and he said, if you want to be part of the world, move closer to us.
Yeah.
And he said, if you want to know what it's like to fly to Australia, put a stick up your ass and twirl on it for 18 hours and put a paper bag over your head and inhale your own carbon monoxide. He said, it's the worst experience
Yeah,
ever in
so
his
he didn't
life.
love it, is what you're saying. Yeah,
I want to swim the English Channel.
What?
I mean, I don't know. Do you really want to do these things, or you're just trying to sound smart?
Well, I'd like to swim the English Channel.
Who's that
That's on
lady
my
that
bucket
swam
list.
last year that she came out, she looked like a piece of jerky?
Yeah,
That was so
Well,
awful. I felt
I'd
like
like to do
she was going
that.
to
It's
die.
22 miles. I'd like to do it. And there have been times when I've been intoxicated.
and you thought you could try it?
You were in your bathtub swimming, you thought it was the English Channel?
Number 3, live until I'm 69. Well, that's June.
I think you're good to go.
But I don't want to go through life telling people I'm 69, because everybody's going to have their own thought,
Their
like
bad-
your
the
first
joke.
your first book title. Everybody has a
Right.
bad, really. Okay, number 2, because we want to get to the good ones. From Sarah. I want to appear in Rocky 7. I was in Rocky 6. And I'm still getting, this.
Yeah.
I'm still getting paid, and that came out in 2005, and I'm still getting residuals. Every month, I get a little check, and I thought, boy, this is what my goal should have been like, because every time you write a story, you get paid that week. You don't get paid for that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, it is very exciting. I mean, sometimes, like I did an episode of that show Monk. It hasn't been on for a long time. So
I
by
like
now,
that show.
though, when I get there, because it's run so many times, it's like 27 cents, and you're like, okay.
So you're one of those people with all the movies and TV shows you've been in, with the books and everything. You really don't have to work. You don't have to do this. You do this for fun because you get those checks every month. That just
Well, no,
come
not
in.
me. Other people, but not me.
Yeah, I told my
Haven't done enough of those yet.
told my agent in L.A. I wanted to appear in more movies. And I was in Nebraska, the state.
Yeah.
No, I was in the movie
believed you.
briefly, and he said, there are no parts for old fat sports writers anymore. Number 1. Win Powerball. See number 5. So if you go back to think of number 5, live in Hawaii, Australia, and Ireland. So if I win Powerball, that's where I'm going to be.
You could do that. Yeah.
So what 3 or 4 things do you really want to do in your life?
Well, I would like to. I think I'd like to spend some time in Italy for sure, wherever it is that he hangs out.
With him?
Yeah, sure. I mean, he can go. I don't mind. He can hang
Before you
out.
get married.
Yeah. No. We'll hang out with the 2 of them, and the 2 couples. We'll be like a fun couple.
Or just the 3 of you.
Let's see. I would like to watch John win a Super Bowl, even though I saw that. We were just starting to talk the first time when they won 2 years ago. So I would like to.
who that was
I was in
against,
the
don't you?
stands.
Yeah.
I was in the stands for the Super Bowl. So I would like next year to be in the stands again and with a different outcome.
Would you call it that play?
Oh boy. That's a tough one. It's funny. He told me once they had, went and reconvened at the facilities the following Tuesday, I think it was. He said when Pete explained it to him, it actually made sense, but there's just still doesn't matter.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So see the Seahawks win another Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Go to Italy. No, you don't think that's
Go
going
to
to
Italy
happen?
with George Clooney. Hang out with George Clooney. Let's make that.
And then
short.
I'll be in Rocky 8. I'd like to be in Rocky 8.
You made fun of me for Fletch 3, and you're talking Rocky 7?
Well,
I feel like it's going to be like a new person before then, right? Like Sylvester Stallone.
Well, he set it up
His
in
kid
Rocky
fighting?
6's kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's next.
His kid's kid.
He'll be the trainer for his kid. He'll
Is there
be
a
like
new
that
Karate Kid coming out? I'd like to be in that.
Oh, that'd be
yeah, there
good.
you go.
Would you
Yeah.
do the wash on, wash off? Is
Yeah,
that-
I would like to be like the instructor.
Who wins a
Mr.
championship
Miyagi.
first, Angels or Seahawks?
Oh, it's so mean.
I tried.
We
guess
asked
I
you
have to
tough
say
questions.
Seahawks.
You can
Yeah,
figure-
the
Can you
Seahawks.
tag along when your dad asks people questions? Or
Yeah, I'll have to say the Seahawks, but
they both have a good shot.
Yeah,
Defense
yeah.
are good, man.
no, they
Yeah.
are.
Jerry
They-
DePoto, their GM's a good friend. I root for him. I wish he had stayed in Colorado. I think they'd be in a lot better spot had he been the GM here.
yeah,
The Josh Hamilton drama notwithstanding,
No,
but
that's just- yeah.
they're really good.
Yeah.
And got some weird contracts that have made it difficult on them. But I like their chances this year.
yeah. They have a great. On paper they have such a great team. So you just hope it works out that way. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, the two of you should get a room and go to Italy or something. Forget about me. I'll just do the commercials. Pick Six, sponsored by Davidson's Liquors. Fans of the sports. I want George Clooney's strays. The ones he lets go.
the waitresses. Yeah,
waitresses.
Yeah. There always seem to be waitresses, right? Like a Vegas
No,
waitress.
Stray
Yeah.
is. I used to say that to sharp guys I went to college. I just want your throwaways. I'm happy with them. Well, it's sponsored by Davidson's Liquors. Would you roll that back? I have no idea what I'm saying there. You can get an order online, and you get a bunch off. So, fans of the sports show can get $10 off any online order of $50 or more at davidsonsdenver.com. Use the promo code George Clooney. This offer is good forever for online orders only, which can be delivered or picked up in store, available at davidsonsdenver.com. I already said that. Use coupon code Sports Show George Clooney. Troy Renck, whatever. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
that.
Thanks
Do we
for
leave
having
one
me.
out? Was there one that just stands above all the one thing? You going to Italy, Seahawks win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Rocky 8.
When are you
Karate
get- when are you
Kid
getting
3.
I'm go. Oh, yeah. Well, yes, I should probably say I want to get married. We're gonna get married next July
That's fantastic.
in Mexico on a beach, and we may or may not invite people.
A place for you to go. Panamita. That's a great
Oh
place.
yeah, it's beautiful though. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite place in Mexico. Beautiful Jack Nicklaus golf course. Kim Kardashian goes there. We have to say, in case I haven't mentioned it, tickets are still available. Few. Just you better act now. Call right now to Comedy Works at Landmark. Sarah's appearing there. Two shows tonight, 7, I guess, and 9:30.
7:15 and 9:45.
See, I don't
think.
ever get
Yeah.
that. That second
That's-
show would be so hard for me.
It's online. Yeah, I always forget. Like sometimes I think it's 7:30, sometimes it's 10.
Yeah, but
I don't-
not for me. But I just think it would be so hard. I was talking to John Lovitz, who was here a few weeks ago, and I said, "How do you it's like playing a double header.
Yeah,
that-
get your energy
that you
back
get
up for the second
your
show.
energy.
Yeah, sometimes it can be hard, but usually the crowd feeds you. And
But I assume you've worked here before, and good
Yeah.
crowds in Colorado.
yeah, great crowds here.
And
Really
plus,
great.
they usually had a gummy bear or something before they come because we're in Colorado. I enjoyed the next 2 nights, and thank you for joining us.
Thank
It's been
you.
a
Thanks
thrill.
for having
It's
me.
been a
Being
thrill
here.
for both of us, and especially for me to finally meet you. And I'm saddened that you have a rock like that. That would make a difference for me.
You're out.
Yeah.
Missed your chance. Woody.
You can watch the show again all over the world. You can listen to our iTunes podcast. We have our own YouTube channel. You can go to denverpost.com and see it again immediately. If you want to just watch everything we've done, you can. We have an email newsletter that's sent out every day, and you can be one of several tens of thousands of people who watch the clips, and this clip will be on there. Do you do Papa Shot? You
No,
know
what's that?
You were about. You've seen that. You were.
Oh, that. Yeah, I'm
Are
not
you
good
an
at
athlete?
it. No, I'm a terrible athlete.
Okay.
just watch.
Next time, practice before you come back.
Okay.
Because I don't think we have a punter on there, but we have a tight end, Chauncey Billups, you've heard of.
I was there
Brandon
that day.
Yeah.
He
boy.
overshadowed me, of course.
Yeah, Walter Davis, a lot of the Broncos and stuff. So we have one female on there. And so guys always say they want to be the female. Troy, thank you for being
It's a
with us
pleasure.
today.
Thanks for
Sarah,
having me,
thank
Woody.
you for being all our guests, Bob Ryan and all the other people that were on today. That was a great show. And enjoy the weekend. Go to Comedy Works. Read Troy Renck. And I end every program with 3 words that I think will change your life, that are my philosophy, that really will brighten your life. Wear my pants.